listening to the Nerdy Reads podcast, a hipster goblin media production.
Hey, what's up to all our friends in the Nerdverse? We are the Nerdy Reads podcast. We read nerdy stuff such as sci-fi, fantasy books, comics, manga, and horror. We also discuss all other nerd things from around the globe. And today we will discuss some book happenings that have the team excited, along with reviewing a crazy concoction from our friends over at Jimmy John's. There's a lot to be excited about today. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and with me, as always, is the man who can read between the lines so well they practically live in the margins. It's Robert.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but what I do know is I'm excited to be here for another episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast. And I hear he's good for a quick pickle. It's Dylan.
Hey, count me in for a pickle. Quick pickle. What was that book you were supposed to be talking about? The pen quickie.
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about 5 fantasy books that you should check out before the end of the year, but that's a story for later. One of them does say like pen quickle.
That's the old pen quickle.
pen quickle pickle.
That's it. Robert, you got a question for us today, bro?
I do, guys. In honor of the Picklewich that we're going to have here later, I want to know, are you a dill pickle guy or a sweet pickle guy?
Bro, it's not, if there's a sweet pickle anywhere in my vicinity, I'm throwing shade at that thing, bro. There's no butter pickle, no sweet pickle relish, none of that mess, dude. It's all dill all day. That's it.
All dill all day.
I'm the same, all dill. Like, I won't say no to a bread and butter chip, but I prefer the dill. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a sweet baby dill pickle.
You heard it here first, everybody. We're dill pickle guys on this.
Sweet baby Dylan likes a sweet baby dill. All right. Guys, speaking of dill pickles, I think that the boys are ready to try a very odd food here in just a moment. Give us just a second. We're going to the New Stuff Cafe.
Most food critics are all about those fancy high-end meals no one can actually afford. But what about the rest of us? Who's got our back? Join me, your host, Michael Ornelas, each week on the Fine Dining Podcast as I subject my taste buds to the tepid offerings of every chain restaurant in America. IHOP? Done. Cracker Barrel?
Without a doubt.
P.F. Chang's?
You bet I've been there too.
It's my mission to find the ultimate mediocre dining experience, because who said mid can't be midnificent? It's not fancy dining, but it's fine dining. Check out the Fine Dining Podcast wherever you prefer to listen.
All right, guys, welcome back to the New Stuff Cafe. You know, when we come here, sometimes we try some odd beverages, odd food, and today it doesn't get much more, different than what these guys are going to be having today. So, Robert, share with us the delectable sandwich or whatever it is that you're having today.
All right, guys. So over the summer, I saw a few TikToks. People are eating sandwiches, but instead of buns, they're giant pickles. And I asked myself, why not me? Well, the answer is because no one in Southern Indiana offered them. But however, Jimmy John's is here to save the day. The first nationwide chain that I know of to offer the Picklewich. And I couldn't wait. I was ready to go. It almost didn't happen. Our very own sweet baby Dylan pleaded to the Jimmy John's, man. Like, look, we do a podcast. Please, can you make the Picklewich? The dude said he sold out for the day, but he came through, made 2 Picklewiches. I'm ready to go. I also have in front of me dill pickle chips that Jimmy John's has.
Go ahead and show us the sandwich you got there. There you go.
Those chips.
Let me get this thing unwrapped. My God, dude, they wrapped this up like 3 times.
Yeah, they were protecting that. They had to make sure that no one knew that we were getting that special deal from Jimmy J's. You know what I'm saying?
So what people don't tell you is this is extremely soggy. I mean, makes sense. It's a giant pickle, but this bad boy is slimy.
That sounds disgusting.
They have 2 options. They have the turkey or the Vito, and the Vito's got like all their like Italian meats on here. I believe that's the one I have in front of me. It wasn't marked. What do you have?
Yeah, it looks like I got the. I did definitely get the turkey.
You got the turkey.
I wasn't sure which one you preferred, Robert. I was hoping you got the one that you wanted. So.
Oh, it's all. I appreciate that, dude, bro. Honestly, I would have liked either one of them. I love pickles. I'm excited to try this skull.
All right, let's see it.
Mine's dripping.
I don't want to eat this over my keyboard, dude. Hold on. I'm gonna get
Dylan. Hold it up again, bro. I just made the picture. You're out of the circle.
Can you see it?
Yeah, you need to bring
Now,
it back into the circle. There you go.
go.
Look at
Sorry, I was trying
that
to
thing.
get the drip. I was trying to get that drip. But
That drippy
there it
drip.
Yeah,
is.
it's drippy,
Here we
bro.
go.
It's a very slimy experience.
All right, we'll see it. There's a lot of crunch in that bite. Well,
I'm gonna eat this whole thing. I don't think I lied. I'd order it again. I don't care how messy.
bro, I just saw cheese dangling out of your lip, bro, as you were trying to say, or whatever that was, dude. It was so disturbing. Dylan, what do you think, bro? Apparently, Robert really likes this.
I don't know if it's for me. It's not bad.
But not good either. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I feel like I'm eating two separate things that just should not be together.
But you put pickles
Like if I
on
took-
sandwiches,
Yeah.
right?
No, I'm not. I'm not really a pickle on my sandwich kind of guy.
What about pickle on a burger?
I'm not even really a pickle on a burger kind of guy.
No?
I like my cheese, maybe some ketchup or something, or sometimes I don't even really like lettuce or tomatoes. It just kind of depends on the burger, depends on the sandwich. You know what I mean?
I like mine.
But I will eat this pickle though.
There you go.
The Picklewich is worth trying, honestly.
Did we say how much that was? Did you guys share how much that was?
They're like $7, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, I paid like 16.
Yeah.
Like 16 for both of them.
So for around $7, you can give this a whirl. That's not a bad thing. It's not
And I've
bad.
never had pickled potato chips before. Now, I'm from the Midwest, so I have had fried pickles. I'm sure all of us here have.
Mhm.
And they're delicious.
I will say.
little,
Go ahead.
I was a little disappointed. I don't know if this is where you were going with it, Justin, but I was a little disappointed because I thought it would be bigger.
The sandwich.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be on a giant pickle.
That's
Not
a pretty
just
big
a
pickle,
normal-sized pickle.
Like a normal size Jimmy John pickle, though. Which
Yeah,
is,
like I
is
was
a big
expecting
pickle,
like
though.
I was expecting like a normal sized Jimmy John Sammy.
Oh, I
It's
got
I
it.
gotcha.
This is just smaller than I thought. You know what I mean?
It's a smaller pickle than you wanted.
Yeah, but I'm going to eat this clump of meat.
There you go. Well, when Robert's testing out the old chip over there, and you have all that dude, pickle chips are gross. I'll tell you
This
that.
is the nastiest chip I've ever tried in my life. I can't think of a chip worse.
You know, the thing for me about pickles is I like pickles in general, like they're fine, but I don't like pickled flavored items like chips or any of that kind of stuff. Like, no thanks. The little pickle seasoning powder or whatever that people use to put on stuff. No, I'm good. But today, I know we talked a little bit last week about how we were switching format stuff up a little bit so that we can have an easier time putting up some YouTube shorts and all of that kind of fun stuff. We are going to jump right into nerdy news with our very own sweet baby Dylan.
Yes, sir. It is Dilly time, as I like to call it. So we're going to get right into it. So every time you tune into an episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast, you can expect some of the latest and greatest news from across the nerdverse.
Mm-hmm.
And gentlemen, we got something interesting. We got some
I'm
interesting stuff kicking off with our sighting of the week.
It
guys are
can't be
Stranger
better
Things
than
fans.
last week's.
You guys are Stranger Things fans, right? I don't know for sure, but apparently our sighting this week is it's a little story, a little ditty about apparently this is what kind of inspired a lot of the Stranger Things, at least in the first 2 seasons, I believe. A lot of things that went on. So I kind of wanted to just, let you all kind of know about this little story that I found. It's called the how you pronounce this, Montauk Project. I'm totally probably butchering that, but
My Montauk. You said it right. You good?
So have you heard of this before then?
No, I've just heard of Montauk.
Okay, I got you. Well, let me kind of give you a little backstory. Back in during World War II, the U.S. Navy allegedly conducted experiments to which it's never admitted, attempting to use supernatural or psychic means to make ships invisible to radar. This spawned a group of 1950s conspiracy theorists who speculated that these experiments opened up a wormhole and caused an entire battleship to disappear. This little bit of lore is known as the Philadelphia experiment. And where did that ship go? Well, a wormhole in time to the 80s, apparently. And that's exactly when another linked psychic experiment took place. It's called the Montauk Project. Apparently, that these Montauk Project experiments each took place right at the base, were participated in by the same man who made the wormhole claims. This is Al Bielek. Bielek. I think it's Bielek. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. He claims that his name isn't actually Al Bielek. Instead, it is Edward Cameron, and he's one of the two brothers who participated in the Philadelphia experiment while in their 20s. He was able to recover his repressed memories after reading a book about the Montauk Project written by a man named Preston Nicholas, who in turn had recovered his own repressed memories to tell the story. Among other things, the various members of the project allegedly worked on a chair that used electromagnets to amplify psychic energy, and a psychic association trick called the seeing eye, similar to the experiments that Eleven goes through in season 1 of Stranger Things. And they all claim that these repressed memories were intentionally hiding using I don't know what that word is.
Coercion
by the government as a means of protecting the project's secrecy. Follow the story to the end. Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
So, basically, like I said, it's kind of inspired. This is like what inspired Stranger Things. Like this story, I guess, is kind of like the wormhole, mostly like the part of it during the experiments and stuff like that. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, first off, I just want to say one thing. This is the kind of energy I'm looking for on these sightings of the week, bro. This is good stuff right here. And honestly, dude, like I love this type of news. I love this type of stuff, this paranormal wormhole. Is it possible? Time travel. Because, a lot of times, I was talking to somebody the other day and we were chatting about aliens like, normal people do. And they mentioned that they believe that flying saucers were actually just time travelers. And so like, there's a lot of people who believe in the idea of people going through these type of things, wormholes, all that type of stuff. So this is interesting.
Have you heard of the Montauk Monster?
Here we go.
I feel like, have I done a sighting on that? Actually, now that you mention that,
I don't know, dude, but I looked into this while you were talking about it because I'm curious now. I'm like going to go down a deep, like 2 a.m. I'm reading about the Montauk Project, laying in my bed, wondering why I'm so tired the next day now because of this. But I
like
found
I've
this
definitely
guy.
heard of that before.
Look at this thing, dude.
Here, I can take my screen share down.
Yeah.
They said this little lad washed up on a beach.
Oh, we did talk. We talked about this.
Talk about him.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
I think so.
Dylan showed us a picture.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, I didn't even realize that was
Same
from
thing,
the same
dude.
place. Man, that's crazy.
Wild. All right. Well, thanks, Dylan. Now I've got something to research.
This is pretty
Late
sick,
into the
dude.
night.
Yeah. So I think it's funny that kind of what Justin was talking about. So I heard one time, and I'm kind of interested in how you guys feel about this. I heard that one time, like someone said that a lot of things that happened like many years ago, like before people could wear glasses and had good eyesight, a lot of myths and like legends and like things like that came from just people that literally just couldn't see because that's what they thought they saw because they had bad eyesight.
Robert looks like he has he has something to say about it.
I've got nothing, bro. I don't feel I'm indifferent.
I mean, I think I mean, it makes sense in a way. I mean, before people could actually, see, like whenever I take my glasses off, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. All right. So, I mean, I can only imagine living your life 24/7 like that. You see a dog walk across the street. That's a big old werewolf.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. When you watch Ancient Aliens and they say like, oh, if you look at this picture that they painted of, a god flying from a chariot out of the sky with a spear and slaying a dragon, that's actually an alien spacecraft. And that's all they could know to do is because they didn't know how to describe alien spacecrafts. And I get what you're saying. Okay.
But I mean, you got to think like when I take my glasses off, I don't see anything in better than 360p. Okay. So we make all these jokes about all these bad low quality alien sightings. That's what people see back then. You know what I mean? So you see a stump, all of a sudden it's Bigfoot.
Which that stump was Bigfoot though. The one that you showed us. It was
100%.
It was definitely a stump. I'm sorry.
It might have been more. It might have been more of a Bigfoot stump.
Yeah,
it was definitely Bigfoot.
I dig this sighting of the week, dude.
Yeah, I like this. This is good stuff.
Because I always thought Stranger Things was inspired by Silent Hill, which I guess Silent Hill was one of the inspirations for that show. But the Montauk thing's cool, dude. Again, researching this deep into the night.
Dude, so there's books on this. I'm looking at it now. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, Dylan's put us down a rabbit hole. Thanks, Dylan.
Hey, now you'll see that there's the Montauk. I might buy this Montauk Project, The Experiments in Time from 1992. It's a book. 156 pages. All right, you heard it here first. We're covering this on Nerdy Reads.
Well, gentlemen, as we continue our nerdy news / new stuff cafe segment, I wanted to kind of do a part 2, a little review of a throwback. I believe Robert or Justin, I don't remember which one earlier, called it a flash review because we said we would do this for a long time. We waited on Robert to finish Fallout. The TV show.
Not the binger over here, my bad.
And he finally finished it. Justin's watched it. I have not. I only watched half. But
Scrub.
I wanted to take a look at the Nuka-Cola here. Nuka-Cola Victory. And we're going to do a little quick review because we just got some pretty breaking news that Macaulay Culkin is going to be joining the cast of Fallout Season 2.
That's amazing.
Which is awesome. I'm here for that.
I know Macaulay Culkin's had a lot of iconic roles, probably none more iconic than Kevin McAllister, but who could forget, where's his glasses? He can't see without his glasses. And good old My Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Skull. Dude, so this Jones soda, I don't know if you can still find it in stores. This bad boy's been in the back of my fridge for months. Veronica's going to wake up in the morning and be so stoked that it's gone. She keeps asking me about it.
Mine's been in the fridge so long that my kid stole it.
Yeah. Well, it's peach mango flavored, so.
Dylan's like, it might be expired.
Nah, bro, this is Nuka-Cola. It'll survive a freaking...
That's true. That's true.
My Nuka-Cola says it will survive at least until April of 2026.
There you go.
It's actually good, dude. If this thing wasn't loaded with... You know what, dude? I'm not going to be the Debbie Downer like I
was going to say. Why? He's like, let me shame all of you into not wanting to drink this.
Compared to a normal soda, this honestly isn't that bad. It only has 29 grams of sugar, which is a lot for most people. But when you compare it to like a Baja Blast that I got over here that has 44 with 170 calories in this tiny little can versus that, it's kind of similar, but I'll take this.
Hey, I just looked up, to purchase those Nuka-Cola Jones sodas on eBay. They're $27.99 a piece.
Wow.
You mean I just opened up a $30 bottle of soda?
No, I'm just joking. I just wanted to give you drinking remorse since I was gone.
This is pretty good though. I would buy.
I had instant remorse because realistically, I've taken 2 sips of this thing and it's gone.
Yeah.
Honestly, the good thing about this is, even though it's been sitting in our fridges for 6+ months already, and we're finally drinking it, this is going to be a nice display. Something to sit on your display, like a shelf or something, and display it, because it's Nuka-Cola. It's Fallout, bro.
Yeah, I have the Final Fantasy. I want to say it was maybe Final Fantasy 15 Jones partnered with, and I still have that bottle. I probably should have emptied the liquid out of it. It looks questionable from where I'm sitting right now.
You can still buy this. If you go to Amazon, you can still buy a pack of 4 for $15.30. Now, I'm not saying you want that, but because I think it's soda. Good. I bought soda from Amazon before though, and it's always flat. Always.
Yeah.
But if you want to, run at your own risk.
I like Jones soda, dude. Like, I don't drink soda a lot, but it's a rare treat. If I'm road tripping or something, or if I'm just like in the mood for something sweet and I want a full flavored soda, I'll buy a Jones 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, Jones is good stuff. All right, well, I'm excited about that Macaulay Culkin news too. That's he's the type of dude that he's had some success in acting, but he's also had some hard troubles, and I'd like to see this dude winning. So
same.
Keep doing your thing, Macaulay Culkin. We're glad to see that you're back up and in the spotlight again.
Hope you're a listener to the show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Come and join us one week.
I mean, Harrison said we're about to have the governor of Arkansas on here, so hopefully.
Yeah, dude. He did say that.
I got one more thing. This is something that it pains me to be reporting, but I can't not report it. Just confirmed, Disney announced that we are going to be getting 3 more years of Rey Skywalker.
Heck yes.
How dare you? In a trilogy that is going to be solely based on Rey starting the new Jedi Order, probably going to give us the story that should have been told originally with Luke, but now we're going to get the Rey story. It's just going to be all about her.
Will Thrawn be the villain?
Cool. I don't know. I feel like, honestly, that could be a redeeming factor. I don't know if the timeline would quite line up though, because I don't know how Thrawn. I don't know how long Thrawn would live. I don't know how in Star Wars movie canon that would technically, because he just kind of got introduced in Ahsoka, so we don't really know how his story is going to end there. That's possible, maybe. But it does seem like more of the Thrawn stuff is going to be more with the Ahsoka stuff. So I doubt they'll go that route, especially timeline-wise. They're just going to throw everything off. So I don't know. But there's a lot. I'm going to have to do some more research on the topic. I just got the news today. We'll see how it goes, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I haven't really been able to process it.
Dude, honestly, I don't know how Star Wars fans feel about Rey, but I think she was a shining light in those movies, regardless if you hated them. I thought Rey Skywalker was a great character. I liked her story throughout all 3 of those films. I'm fine with this news, so there you go. I'd rather get 3 more Star Wars movies spread out over like 6-7 years than 19 Star Wars TV shows spread out over 2.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that. The thing, I don't have an issue with obviously like Daisy. I think Daisy Ridley did a phenomenal job playing Rey. I have interest in the character of Rey. I think there's some redeeming factors for sure for her character. I loved John Boyega's character. I absolutely love Finn. I wish I could get more of that. I just don't see him coming back. And there are some cool aspects of it, but overall, I was very disappointed. Obviously, I think I've mentioned it countless times on the show that my thoughts on the Disney trilogy. But I think there's still things that they could do that can possibly bring me back and want to root for Rey as a character, because I do want it to be good. I love Star Wars. I want it to be good. It's just Disney has to make it good, and they don't want to do that.
Make it good, Disney. That's all you got to do.
Make it good. That's all you got to do. And I'm going to show you whenever I write my story.
We're excited for that.
Yes, I can't.
Guys,
wait.
don't forget, that's the first thing happening next year. We've already had people commenting and looking forward to the Dylan short story that will be acted out by Robert, myself, and Harrison when he comes back to the show.
It's coming.
Okay.
So,
and we can't wait.
My short story might just be the beginning, but it might turn into a full blown thing. Who knows? We'll see.
Okay.
I might be writing my own comic book someday.
That'd be sweet. I'm here. We'll support you.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. So we're going to get into some book happenings. And what we wanted to do is do something a little different. I know that a lot of times we've had a book section where we talk about a book that specifically during this time. But what we want to do is we have a few topics that we want to cover. And a lot of these will be made into shorts for YouTube video purposes. We're trying to grow in some different ways. So if you are a listener of the full-blown episodes, thank you so much for sticking with us through all the shifts and changes as we continue to experiment and figure out how to make this thing continue to move upward. So we wanted to just kind of go into some of these things and talk about them. We think it's a fun way to engage in the book world. First thing we're going to talk about today is we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. This is a new book by Grady Hendrix. And Grady Hendrix, if you guys don't remember, we have covered one of his books here before. And Grady is an amazing, fun author of horror books. And we covered the, How to Sell a Haunted House. And it was an amazing, amazing book that we covered. We gave it a lot of praise and raved reviews. It got the Nerdy Reads stamp of approval for sure. And so Grady has a new book out. I'm going to read a little bit about this synopsis wise. They call them wayward girls, loose girls, girls who grew up too fast, and they're sent to the Wellwood home in St. Augustine, Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to have their babies in secret, give them up for adoption, and most important of all, to forget any of it ever happened. 15-year-old Fern arrives at the home in the sweltering summer of 1970, pregnant, terrified, and alone, under the watchful eye of the stern Ms. Wellwood. She meets a dozen other girls in the same predicament. There's Rose, a hippie who insists she's going to find a way to keep her baby and escape to the commune, and Xenia, a budding musician who knows she's going to go home and marry her baby's father. And Holly, a wisp of a girl, barely 14, mute and pregnant by no one knows who. Everything the girls eat, every moment of their waking day, and everything they're allowed to talk about is strictly controlled by adults who claim they know what's best for them. Then Fern meets a librarian who gives her an occult book about witchcraft, and power is in the hands of the girls for the first time in their lives. But power can destroy as easily as it creates, and is never given freely. There's always a price to be paid, and it's usually paid in blood. So that's Grady Hendrix' new book. Right now, it's got about 498 ratings, about 500 ratings, sitting about 4.09 for the people who got early access. This thing is expected to be published January 14th of 2025. Very excited for this.
Yeah, day one, easy. Anything Grady Hendrix puts out, I'm throwing down on. I've read several of his books. I think still to this day, Southern Guides to Vampire Slaying is what it's called, something to that effect. Still my favorite novel of his, but Best Friend's Exorcism, Horror Store, of course, How to Sell a Haunted House. We covered that on episode 14 of this show. All great.
You know, my Best Friend's Exorcism might be the best cover I've ever seen on a book. Just I love the VHS case vibe that it has. It even has the old looking color. I mean, it's a really cool cover for a book. So, and it's an amazing book itself. So Grady Hendrix, I mean, he's one of our faves. So we'll definitely be covering this one 100% without a doubt. Dylan, you going to read that one with us?
I'm intrigued.
We're always intrigued.
I'm always intrigued.
I will say there are some interesting stories that we discuss on the show quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I just never get around to reading them.
And, in the meantime, Grady has quite a bit of work out there. So if you have not checked out a Grady Hendrix book, we highly recommend that you go and do that in preparation for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Next, we're going to talk about Project Hail Mary. Now, you guys know Project Hail Mary is a book that is near and dear to the hearts of this team. We love Project Hail Mary, one of our favorite books, probably, I would say, at least in my personal top 3 that we have covered since we've been doing this show. And right now, they're getting ready to release a movie. They have now finalized 5 months worth of filming. And so this thing is going to be dropping at some point soon. It's the space film and adaptation of Andy Weir's novel of the same name and written by Drew Goddard. Tells the story of an Earth slowing, inching towards doomsday. Science teacher Ryland Grace Gosling, who's going to be playing him, is taped to help, or is asked to help solve this issue, and embarks on a spacebound expedition to save the human race. So Ware sold this book film rights to MGM back in early 2020. He sold this thing for $3 million. Then in March of 2020, Gosling signed on to star in the film. So this is going to be a really cool thing. Weir has another movie out from one of his books called The Martian, which we've also covered on this show. So we're big fans of Andy Weir as well.
Yeah, man. The Project Hail Mary we covered way back on episode 9 of this show. And it is still from episode 9 to what we're on 83, which is pretty incredible, by the way. Still one of my favorite books. Like Justin said, top 3 easy. The Martian was like episode 22. If you want to check those out, we do love them. I'll be at the theater day 1. This one has a projected release date of March 2026. So Veronica will be with me because Ryan Gosling's there. So what up?
It's crazy to me that they finished filming and 5 months worth of filming. And so it's going to take over a year to
post-production,
which I get that. Rocky, yeah. Dude, that's what I'm interested in. Is how's our boy Rocky gonna look?
I'm ready to see live action Rocky.
You got to remember, anytime a book you love gets made into a movie, you got to go in with those low expectations, boys.
That's true. But if they come out with Rocky merch, if there's Rocky merch, if there's a plushie, best believe, bro.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have a Rocky plushie
with the little fist bump.
Dude, yes. Rocky was such a cool character, though, and honestly, there was so much about that book that was dark, and even though he often made jokes and made light of his situation and the way that he navigated that time, when Rocky comes into the story, it totally shifts the entire thing. Rocky was a fun, loving little spider alien who sang when he talked. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and he just had he gave you that little bit of humor that you needed in that dark time, like you mentioned. He's like, "We are friends?" Question, and that's how he always would talk. He'd end everything with a question. Yeah. Usually, "You not stupid? Why stupid?" Question. I mean, Rocky's great.
Rocky's amazing. You know what else Project Hail Mary brought us? Sweet Baby Dylan.
It did.
If it weren't for Project Hail Mary, we wouldn't have brought Sweet Baby Dylan on the show. So to do trivia over the book that he nailed, you did kill it. Yeah. I will say.
I took notes. Well, you know what I did?
What's that?
Actually, no, that'd be a lie. I don't even know. I was gonna say what I did in research for this book. I went to Tau Ceti on Starfield. But I don't think Starfield was out at the time. But I do explore that system on occasion in Starfield.
Nice.
I'm glad to see you're one of the dozens and dozens of people that play Starfield.
Yep.
I mean, dozens of millions.
Guys, listen, if you haven't read Project Hail Mary, If it is a thing that has maybe even slipped off your radar or it's been on your radar for a while, we here at the Nerdy Reads Podcast highly recommend you check out Project Hail Mary. Go check that book out. Read it before it comes out in theaters. So that way, get you a little more hyped. You get to learn a little bit more about our boy Rocky.
I'm Robert from the Nerdy Reads Podcast, and here is 5 fantasy books we think you should check out before the end of the year based on Goodreads ratings. First up, we have Picklewich Folly by R.A. Salvatore. You guys know him as the beloved author of the Star Wars Episode 2 novelization, and he's kind of the lesser-known creator of Dritz, Doerden. So Fantasy Master Salvatore brings together a misfit band, once enemies, now friends, with a common enemy and the spark of rebellion in this action-packed pirate adventure, currently sitting at 4.17 out of 5 on Goodreads. Next up, we have The Spell Shop for you romantasy fans out there. This is a lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spell books, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. It's tagged fantasy romance and cozy mystery, 4.11 out of 5 over on Goodreads. And then we actually covered this one here on the show. You can go back to episode 46. We talked about The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, one of my favorite books I've read this year. Fantastic murder mystery, classic whodunit, great world building, even better characters. Cannot recommend it enough. Perfect genre blend of mystery and fantasy. 4.32 out of 5 over on Goodreads. This next one is actually a book of the month for November selection. It is called The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. A wandering fortune teller finds an unexpected family in this warm and wonderful debut fantasy, perfect for readers of Travis Baldree, who we love on this show. We got to interview that guy. This one's tagged cozy, mystery, and fantasy, 4.3 out of 5 on Goodreads. And last, but not least, is The Invisible College by Jeff Wheeler. A mortal sorcerer sets out to defy the dark magic of an ancient race awakening to wage war in an epic fantasy of adventure and love. And we here on this podcast had the privilege to interview Jeff back on episode 31. And we also covered The Druid and The Queen's Poisoner. Big fans of his work. Be sure to check this one out. And that is 5 fantasy books we here at the Nerdy Reads Podcast think you should check out before the year ends. It's time for What's Hot. We here at the Nerdy Reads Podcast can't read everything. That's why we bring you something hot around the book world. And this week it is You Better Watch Out by James S. Murray. Halloween is gone. As per usual, Thanksgiving has been forgotten, so Christmas is just right around the corner. But if you're not ready to say goodbye to spooky season just yet, You Better Watch Out is a horror thriller slasher set 48 hours before Christmas. Jessica Kane wakes up trapped in an unknown, deserted town with 5 other strangers who also have no idea how they got there. Then slowly, one by one, someone is meticulously orchestrating their deaths. The fenced-in town is the killer's very own playground. There's nowhere left to hide. She better watch out, or she could be next. This one's interesting to me because the setting is a remote town with the slasher grouping people together for whatever reason just seems out there. So this one's getting added to my TBR this winter. It's tagged horror, thriller, and Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone.
All right, guys, and that's it for What's Hot. We got one more thing that we want to cover with everybody. We do something called the mailbag. If you're a part of our Discord community, you know what that is. You can go in there and you can ask us any question, and we will do our best to cover it here.
You've got mail.
First mailbag question is from our boy Solid Matt 13. He said, what's the crew's top 3 or more pieces of classic literature? His are Hamlet by Shakespeare, Night by Elie Wiesel, and The Divine Comedy by Dante. I'm not even trying. That last but yeah, dude, so let's go ahead and hit it. Robert, what do you got, man? What are your top 3 classic literature? All right, I'll tell you what, let's start with you. Start at 3 and we'll just kind of go from there. Dylan, you got some for us too?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll give our third option first. Go ahead, Robert.
All right, my third option will be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Fantastic piece of children's literature that I think resounds today with adults as well.
I like that pick. For me, it was this book. It was called The Willows, and it was wrote by Algernon Blackwood, and it's about two friends. They go on a canoe trip down a river, and it's just they're surrounded by this environment. It's a lot of eeriness. It's actually in the genre of horror, gothic and fantasy, weird fiction, that kind of thing. But I remember reading this a long, long time ago when I was a lot younger, and it just resonated with me to this day.
I'm going to go with the classic Romeo and Juliet.
Nice,
my man. You can't go wrong with that. All right, Robert, what you got for your number 2?
Number 2 is going to be The Hobbit. I feel like The Hobbit's such a I read that book and all of a sudden all I want to do is read fantasy novels. And The Hobbit is still good to this day. We covered it on the show not that long ago. Holds up. Perfect. Just a perfect book.
Yeah. And I appreciate this question. This question, I decided to stretch myself a little bit because I didn't want to just say Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, or something along those lines. But for my number 2 pick, I put To Kill a Mockingbird. And the reason I picked this book was because it was the first book really that I took seriously and read in school. Because I remember I was going through a thing, and I remember being in English class and making the decision that, okay, I need to start taking some things seriously. And this book was just short enough to where it didn't intimidate me like crazy. And I remember reading this, doing the book report, but it stuck with me. To Kill a Mockingbird's a classic. I recommend it to everybody.
I'm kind of like you. I'm digging into my, my English freshman year bag here, and I'm going to go with the Count of Monte Cristo.
Nice.
Cristo, sorry.
Nice. That's good, Dylan. That's good.
Well, I'm glad that you guys brought out like legit classic lit. And I'm like, Lion Witch Wardrobe, what up? Hobbit, yo. But my last one, dude, is one from high school that still resonates with me today. It's Of Mice and Men.
Oh, yeah.
And the older I get, the more I appreciate this novel. The story follows George and Lenny, set during the Great Depression. They're just two bros who want to own some land, man. Mm-hmm. But the bond between George and Lenny taught me a lot about empathy for others at a young age that I still carry a lot of that with me today. And, George has to make a tough choice at the end of that novel, and it's just something that's always stuck with me. Classic book. Highly recommend it. You've probably read it. I'm pretty sure it's still on curriculums. I hope it is anyway.
So my number 1 is Robert's number 2. It's The Hobbit, of course. I mean, we covered that for my birthday. If you have listened to this show for a while, like those books mean a lot to me personally. Love the stories. I think that it's the thing I'm probably into the most as far as, fantasy worlds and, all of that type of stuff. I love Middle Earth. I named my daughter Arwen. So there's just all sorts. I mean, these stories impacted me a great deal. And so for The Hobbit or any of those books, one of them had to be in this list. And no matter what it was going to be at number 1. I just love these stories. And we can pick them apart and do all that stuff like we do all classic things. But to me, it's perfectly imperfect. And I love it so much. So there you go. Dylan?
Suddenly, there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Going The Raven, Edgar Allan Poe.
Hey!
There you go, dude. Respect.
I do like that. Edgar Allan Poe, he's the dude. He's the man. All right, we had another one, another mailbag that was recently dropped on us. So that is a great one. It said, "What is the most uniquely written book you have read?" This was actually from our friend Super Reader, and she said, "I have recently read a book by Janice Hallett, and she writes mystery novels, but instead of it being written with chapters, she gives you all the evidence, emails, text messages, interviews, etc. And you have to solve the mystery with the information given." That sounds awesome, by the way. And so, okay, there it is. That is the question. Robert, do you have something in mind for your most uniquely?
I definitely don't have anything that unique, and I don't have anything as unique as Solid Matt in our Discord mentioned House of Leaves, which I researched today, and that one sounds wild. I'm definitely going to try and pick it up. But mine is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. My camera likes to do wonky stuff, so you probably can't see it that well. But this thing here, it looks like an IKEA catalog. And that's the way the book is written, like an IKEA catalog. Every chapter starts with a piece of furniture, and the further you get in the book, the more demented the furniture gets. Like it starts like, a little fridge or something for your kitchen and turns into like a torture chair. But there's all these different things in here, like employee, like a map of the store. There's employee schedules, writing on the wall. It's all cryptic stuff. The premise of the book is like this IKEA-like store is haunted. And these employees stay overnight to see what's haunting this store. And naturally, crazy stuff starts happening. It's Grady Hendrix. It's a solid read. I think you'll get a lot more out of it from the physical because it's just like a cool book to own. But yeah, dude, that's mine. Horror Store, Grady Hendrix.
Yeah, I love that. For me, I would say, okay, so I have two, and one of them literally just came to mind as we were talking. But one of them is actually a fantasy book that you mentioned. It was The Tainted Cup. And when I think of uniquely written, for one, I just think the setting for this style of thing, it was unique because you have this mystery thriller kind of vibe going on in a fantasy world where there's a lot of world building stuff happening, but it's all well paced. And then there's like this outer wall, and there's a secondary story that matters and you understand it, but it's not like the core part of the story. It was a really cool book. So I just want to kind of echo what Robert was talking about when he was giving our top 5. I think that's it's just such a unique story. Mm-hmm. But the one that I brought in mind for this topic was I don't know how uniquely written this is. To me, it was unique. I haven't read anything like it since or before it. Was The Last Word. And we've said this a million times. If I could go back and re-rate this book, I would 100%. Because at the time, I think I was trying too hard for us to not give anything a really high rating unless it was like something crazy. And the more I think about it, this book was that. I mean, you had two different perspectives, and you have your character who's the girl who's speaking from one side of it, and then eventually it's the killer's writing too, and you're seeing it from both their perspectives, and they're so vastly different. And it gave us HGK. So I love The Last Word. Unique book. If you haven't read it, totally cool, totally worth your time to go check out too. And it's so fast. You can read that thing in a weekend easily.
For sure.
Dylan?
I think when it comes to unique books, obviously my catalog is not very big when it comes to the books I've read. Sure. But I would say if I didn't say Incidents Around the House, I would go with a book that I read shortly after we read that one called Mean Spirited. And I think it's unique in a way because it's like a horror book, but I feel like most horror stuff, it kind of like gives you little hints, and then it gets more intense as the whatever if it's a book or a movie or a show or whatever, as it goes on, it just gets more intense. But this one just kind of goes 0 to 100 and then never stops, and then just keeps going and goes further. But yeah, it's called Mean Spirited by Nick Roberts. I would highly recommend that book.
Nice.
Dude, yeah, I just want to say thanks for the mailbag questions. Keep sending them in. We love answering them. And how much fun would it be for us to do a book club on one of those Shauna books she read and try and solve that murder?
Yeah, that'd be fun, dude. You know what, bro? We should look into
our head trying to solve this thing.
I'm a big time solve kind of guy.
Yeah. I love it. All right, guys. That's it for us today. If you're looking for the book section, yes, we did start a new book. It's coming up. We're releasing a couple episodes this week, so be on the lookout for that as well. We have a lot of things that are happening here at the Nerdy Reads podcast. You're going to want to keep up with us. Robert, where can they find us at?
You can find us over on Facebook, Instagram, Goodreads, and YouTube. Like and subscribe at the Nerdy Reads podcast.
That is right. And guys, it would be a shame. It'd be a shame if we ever ended an episode without some advice from our very own sweet baby Dylan.
Listen. if you're scared of doing it, then do it scared.
And there went our PG-13 rating. We've been trying so hard.
That could be hard.
Hold on, no.
That was meant to be inspirational. Okay, you guys ruined it.
Listen, if your minds were in the gutter, please pass the butter.
What if you ain't got no butter to pass?
All right, guys, here at the Nerdy Reads Podcast, we enjoy a good story. We believe your story matters, so be good to each other. Stay nerdy, our friends. Say bye, everybody.
Peace. Bye-bye.